Dott TV, the heart of the matter.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Hello there, good morning and welcome to Morning Dew on Dott Television. I hope you had a wonderful night. My name is Henry Uzo, and of course, as ever, we'll walk you through the day as it begins with the headlines, of course, news updates, and then we'll be having one or two guests in the studio to talk about contemporary issues. That's how I welcome you this morning. And of course, with me in the studio is Success Benjamin.
Good morning, Hosa.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. You
Okay.
look fabulous this
Thank
morning.
you. You didn't want me to do that first. I should do that first. You're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, rise and shine, fruitful Friday to you this morning. This is Morning Dew on Dott Television, where we bring you topical stories and headlines to kickstart your day. Your day just got brightened. I am Success Benjamin. Stay with us.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Yes, welcome back. And straight away, we update you with the news. Success has the stories.
Welcome to news updates for the day. The African Reinsurance Corporation, Africa Re, is celebrating its 50th anniversary, marking 5 decades of strengthening Africa's insurance industry and supporting economic growth across the continent. The corporation reported a 50.6% increase in net profit to $199 million, while gross written premiums rose to $1.34 billion. Over the past 50 years, Africa Re has provided more than $50 billion in insurance coverage, helping to reduce capital flight and boost premium retention within Africa. The corporation currently holds an A financial strength rating from Standard & Poor's and AM Best, with about 20% of the African reinsurance market. The Golden Jubilee celebration is being held in Abuja with a 2-day event featuring an industry symposium, the commissioning of Africa Re's new state-of-the-art headquarters, and the 48th anniversary general meeting. The Economic Green Summit highlights for the 31st Economic Summit discussions focused on building a greener and more resilient economy. Experts at the Nigerian Economic Summit Trust Next 2026 stressed the need for smart cities, stronger environmental governance, and sustainable policies to attract investment and drive economic growth. Stakeholders also emphasized that a cleaner environment is key to long-term development and investors' confidence. Meanwhile, preparations continue for the 32nd Nigerian Economic Summit, scheduled for October 2026, with the theme Growth That Works. The Nigerian Employers Summit 2026 is also expected to focus on economic reforms and environmental, social, and governance standards. Nigeria continues to record maternity death rates. Nigeria has been recorded the second highest number of maternal deaths in the world, accounting for up to 20% of global maternity death rates. Despite recent improvements in maternity health care, the country still records one maternity death about every 7 minutes. The Federal Ministry of Health says maternity deaths in health facilities have declined due to better access to skilled birth attendants, improved referral systems, and increased investment in healthcare. However, experts say severe bleeding, infections, high blood pressure during pregnancy, and obstructed labor remain the leading causes of maternity death. They also stressed that delays in seeking medical care, poor transport, poverty, and a shortage of skilled health workers continue to put the lives of pregnant women at risk. Now on our entertainment on sports, Plata fires Ecuador into World Cup knockout stage. Ecuador has qualified for the World Cup knockout stage for the first time since 2006 after coming from behind to defeat Germany 2-1. Gonzalo Plata scored the winning goal in the 70th minute, poking the ball past German goalkeeper Manuel Neuer to see the victory. The win saw Ecuador finish third in Group E with 4 points and progress beyond the group stage for only the second time in the country's history. Plata said the team endured difficult moments in its opening matches but is now motivated to go even further in the tournament. Ecuador, which has lost just one of its last 22 matches, could face Mexico in the next round. Germany had already secured qualification after winning its first two group games and will now prepare for its knockout round fixtures, likely against Paraguay, Australia, or Sweden. Now, foreign scene, and heavy earthquake had hit Venezuela. At least 188 people have been killed after two powerful earthquakes measuring magnitudes of the 7.2 and 7.5 struck near the town of Moran in Venezuela just 39 seconds apart. The quakes caused widespread destruction, with dozens of buildings collapsing in the capital, Caracas. More than 1,500 people have been injured, while about 157 others remain missing. Officials say nearly 3,000 families have been affected and rescue teams continue searching for survivors. Authorities describe the disaster as one of the strongest earthquakes to hit Venezuela in more than a century, with the worst damage recorded in Caracas and along the country's modern coast. And that's the news updates this morning on Morning Dew. And Henry, what do you think about this earthquake?
Yeah, in fact, it struck me while you were just reading because it's quite some time that we heard news about earthquake, and for the fact that 188 persons have already been counted dead is worrisome.
Really worrisome.
From this platform, we want to sympathize with the nationals of Venezuela, especially inhabitants of the capital city, Caracas. We hope that as time goes on, they will mop up and, of course, save more people. We'll be back on Morning Dew. We'll go on a short break.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak. Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
All right, we'll go straight to the papers, and of course, we'll take the headlines. Let's start with Success, as she takes the Pointer newspaper.
I think we're going to start with, okay, at the Pointer newspaper, the front page of Pointer this morning, talking about CBN orders banks to freeze assets of terrorism financiers. And also we have Oboriwori directs immediate restoration of electricity in Isoko communities. And so, okay, so, and also we have federal workers versus, I think that's all we can take on the Pointer newspaper. So over to the Vanguard newspaper.
Please bring the next newspaper.
And Tribune, why we are waiting for Vanguard to come, so the Nigeria Tribune, stakeholders put governors on the posts. State polls will protect persecuted Nigerians, Christians, says U.S. lawmaker. Moore speaks, reaffirms states assemblies commitment to state police bill. LP urges governor state assemblies to be above partisanship, backs bill. Tinubu's government can't be trusted with state police. And same here, we have two dead, 16 rescued as three-story building collapses in Lagos. INEC opens candidates nomination portal tomorrow. On Earth, we have where is it? On Earth, we have menstrual blood tests to help detect. CBN orders bank to freeze assets of BDC's 6 individuals over alleged terrorism funding. Appeal court adjourns hearing in suit against deregistration of ADC Accord, 3 other bills. FG to review minimum wage.
Next paper. Please bring next paper.
This morning, CBN orders bank to freeze assets of 6 individuals, 4 BDCs linked to terrorism financing. And we'll go to the Guardian newspaper, the Guardian paper, the front page of the Guardian, saying posers over ex-governors push for legislative seats. High petrol prices persist as Nigerian faces 11.5 billion crude oil losses. And that's the Guardian, the front page of the Guardian.
The newspaper, the Nation. On the Nation, we have CBN orders freeze of accounts linked to terrorism financing. And of course, state assemblies ready to okay state police bill. Pressure on marketers to cut petrol pump price. Tinubu reassures on Orire as Oyo depends curfew. All right, that's what we have on the Nation, and of course on the Punch.
The Punch. Yes, we have 36 speakers back state police. Final test begins. Speakers vow to prioritize state police bill as assemblies brace for debates. New state police bill broadens. Police Council admits NBA NLC rights panel orders. Alia commends NAS over passage of state police bill as Kano Assembly meets governors. Lagos building collapse, death toll hits 8, 26 rescued. Still in the Punch front page, we have Tinubu vows safe return of adopted Oyo pupils and teachers. 188 die, 1,500 injured in Venezuela's earthquake disaster.
Next is the Daily Sun. State police bill, pressure shift to state legislators. IPOB raises Kano's conviction as U.S. Civil Society Forum.
And the writer here, we have Oba of Benin, same Daily Sun. Oba of Benin constitutes traditional security network to tackle banditry in Edo. And we also have NECO releases 2026 BECE results. 8 die, 26 rescued in Lagos building collapse. Telcos under pressure as consumer anger grows over rapid data depletion drops call.
On the business day, we have who won and who lost when Nigeria stars ditched their labels. And of course, stock markets. June sell of wipes 3.3 billion naira of Nigerian billionaires' fortune. That's what we have on the Next is Daily Trust.
The Daily Trust front page has still talking about the collapsed building in Lagos. 8 die, 26 rescued in Lagos building collapse. Motorists demand cheaper petrol as crude price falls. Jega seeks amendment to Electoral Act. 7 residents, that's the main capture, 7 residents, 2 cops killed in Katsina, Kaduna. Then we have here on the pointer. We're going now back to the pointer.
Taking the pointer.
Okay.
All right, that does it for the headlines and the papers. When we come back, we'll look at the review of some of the headlines brought you.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Dott Entertainment, your weekly dose of pure fun, airing every Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Only on Dott TV.
We impose extra burden on the masses. I feel your pain.
Only humility will lead us to unity, and unity will lead us to peace.
Go to the market and sell your products.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
You're welcome back. And of course, we want to look at some of the headlines that appeared in the papers today. We have in the studio already Godfrey Ubaka.
Harry, thank God it's Friday.
Okay.
You guys are doing a great job.
What do you mean, thank God it's Friday?
Thank God it's Friday.
Are you a lazy worker?
Certainly not.
It's a slogan of lazy workers.
But
Thank God it's
you
Friday.
know when the economy used to be very buoyant in this nation,
yes,
and especially major cities, Warri, Lagos, people look forward to weekend.
Okay, so that
they could go and just you know.
But we still do.
So you're already longing for the weekend.
No overhead plan for the weekend.
No overhead plan for the weekend. Well, yeah.
All right. We just start off with that, which is very important to the nation, talking about the issue of the state police bill. From what we see, pressure is on the governors. That's how the papers reported it. Now, if they are finished at the national level, what are we expecting from the governors concerning the bill?
Oh, well, progress is already being made.
Yeah.
The House of Assembly first passed it as a bill.
Okay.
Then the Senate took over.
Okay.
But there is a constitutional requirement that for it to actually become a law that can be sent to the president for his assent, you know, there needs to be a passage by at least 24 houses of assembly.
Yeah.
You know, across the nation.
Yeah.
You know, but what the news is telling us this morning is that already 36 houses of assembly are ready to give it expedited passage.
Yeah.
That is to say, Nigerians are ready to see to a situation where we could decentralize the police system and improve on the security architecture to see how we could have a better policed nation, a better secured Nigeria. So there are some other newspapers who said that, who have it on their front pages, that the governors are now on the spot, as it were.
Yes.
To see how they will now be able to execute the structures.
Yes.
In terms of, because they are required to appoint state commissioners of police.
Yeah.
And they are now expected to see how to implement it so that we get to such a time that you will not only be blaming the IG and the federal government for issues of growing insecurity. Knowing that governors collect security votes, local government chairmen collect security votes and all that. So we should be able to see how practically they are utilized. We know that over time, we've seen governors as chief security officers of their state give logistical support to the police system. But it ends at that. Now they should be on the driving seat to actually be indeed chief security officers of their states. So that's where we are getting
to. And of course, we expect a local government chairman to be chief
to also get in. Yeah.
Because, you know, the way it was before, they were supposed to hold monthly meetings, especially at the local government level. I don't know how this one's work, but I now know that with this state police bill, or when it becomes a law, of course, it's compelling on everybody to put their hands on deck and see how we drive issues of security.
Yeah, it will actually bring about responsibility in government. Okay. So that you hold governance accountable.
All right.
And not bulk person of that. You know, I'm the chief security officer, but it's just a name and tag.
Yes.
I cannot give instruction to the commissioner of police. They are posted and reposted without my knowledge. Yeah. They just come to tell me they have reported. So there is no that synergy is lacking.
Yeah.
But with what is coming on board now, we expect that there should be a more concrete effort so that we can better secure Nigeria's space.
All right. On the issue of the governors, there's a paper that taunted them. It's like a question. It's like a mockery. It's like a, you know, why is it that whenever you finish your tenure as governor, the next thing is you are looking at the Senate. You still want to continue. Is there no end for governor? Can they end their tenure and retire into normal life? Must they continue to?
Yes, in some other climes, people take political positions to give back to society.
All right.
You have distinguished yourself, and you decide to give back to society. Yes. We've seen exceptions in Nigeria. Fashola was a governor for 2 terms. He was a minister. He's back to his chambers.
Okay.
He's back to his chambers. But there are those who have taken it as a career, and they believe that. That's why some people refer to the Senate in Nigeria as a retirement lodge for ex-governors. Yeah. You understand, ex-governors. And I think it's going to be a bit worse in the unfolding era of the National Assembly.
When you say a bit worse, is it worse for them or worse for Nigeria?
Well, worse for the system, in the sense that people will want to, when people are in position as governors, they also want to see a situation where they will retire into the Senate. And when they are in the Senate, because, when you are in the Senate, it gives you this immunity clause. The immunity continues. You can't be haunted. So you don't have, the system doesn't have opportunity to hold you accountable, so for as long as you are in the Senate. So if you finish as a governor and get into the Senate, then of course you are having a longer latitude to be immune.
Now let's look at this issue of accountability. Are we accountable in this nation? The process of bringing ex-public office holders to account, is it working? We hear EFCC announce that a social person has been arrested because of social amount of money misappropriated. That's all we hear. We never hear any follow-up. Are we really doing well in the issue of bringing ex-principal officers to account?
I think it's Section 22 of the Nigerian Constitution, 1999, as amended, that empowers people of your profession, the media, to hold those in government accountable on behalf of the society.
With the pen.
Oh, yes, with investigative journalism. If you do the work the way it should be done, you hold them accountable. If journalism is practiced the way it should be practiced, then on behalf of the citizenry, you are holding those in government accountable. We also expect that if our electoral system is dependable and leadership emergence comes with the kind of process where people say, oh, you served us well before, you can go back again. Because it's said in our local parlance that if a road is good, you go through it twice. But when people play it twice. But when people believe that the system is so monetized, so starch out as much as you can in order that you'll be able to fund your next election and all that, then of course we may not be able to get the best in leadership. Leadership is about sacrifice, leadership is about vision, leadership is about leaving behind legacies, so that at every point in time we are leaving Nigeria better. Because at some point you see that Ghanaians were in Nigeria. Today, Ghanaians are saying Nigeria must go. At some point, we were assisting South Africa.
We were well off,
Today, there are Nigerians in thousands that are stranded at the airport in South Africa. Because even the evacuation, I'm sure some of your headlines have it. Even the evacuation system, they came the first time, over 6,000 Nigerians registered to leave. The first plane that came took 200. And the Nigerians were already at the airport, quarantined. They could not go back into the cities. They couldn't go back, and they have been there at the airport. Now we have today in one of the headlines that 16 more Nigerians have been. Is that how you will be taking them piecemeal? Ghana went one day, unannounced, and evacuated them. But what we are being told, Adike Dabiri, one of your colleagues, is telling us that Nigeria is going to. Nigeria is going to. We just have a reactive government, not a proactive government. So it doesn't make the citizens to be proud of the society.
Well, even the reactive, I don't see how reactive they are, because if we are still talking about our people stranded at the airport.
Stranded for weeks now.
Our government is always calling.
They are not in the South African cities. They are at the airport. Because of course, some of them, there were people who went with papers, visa
yeah.
for 3 months, and they have overstayed.
Yeah.
And so now they do not have the papers with which to get back to the society. They are quarantined at the airport. How proud will they be of the Nigerian nation?
I think at this stage, the Nigeria government need to be active or proactive right now.
That's our
reactive.
Expectation. They
need to be proactive because people will not continue to remain there at the airport stranded. These are citizens.
It doesn't tell good of us.
It just does it, especially both at the local level and at the international stage. That's the truth.
All right, let's look at something that will make civil servants happy. One of the papers reported how that Wajabiamila says that 70,000.
That's the chief of staff?
Minimum wage.
Chief of staff to the president?
Yes.
That the 70,000 minimum wage is just nothing to the present situation of the economy. And so there's a need for another minimum wage. Is that good news for workers? Because most of the time, even while I was working, when you talk about minimum wage, a lot of noise is made about it. And then, of course, a lot of time is taken before it's implemented. And when eventually it's done, you just find that somebody has 30,000 naira added to his salary. And that is always at the lower rung. At the upper rung, it's about as minimum as 7,000, 10,000.
My brother, I think you...
Is it good news?
No. To me, it's not.
Okay.
Maybe I'm seeing it from a different perspective.
Okay.
Wajabiamila came to do that as a damage control.
Yeah.
A damage control to repair what Bayo Ononuga had said.
Yeah, yes.
Bayo Ononuga brought an unpopular government to a very, very popular rate.
Yes.
By saying that he's not seeing the hunger in the country.
No, you cannot.
The last time we saw that we saw somebody make that kind of statement was when Umar Diko said that there was no hunger in the land because Nigerians were not yet feeding from the dustbin. We know how Umar Diko ended up. It was craned, it was brought back to the country. Now, Ononuga is towing that part and further making the Tinubu administration unpopular. So Wajabiamila had to come in with that damage control, as it were, mechanism to tell Nigeria that all hope is not lost. That the government of Tinubu has realized that 70,000 naira minimum wage is not realistic. Yes, it is not realistic.
Can be.
But truth be told, how many Nigerians are in the public sector?
Okay.
And to what extent are the private sectors even implementing the 70,000 minimum wage? So when you say you are now going to increase it to maybe 100,000 or 120 thereabout, and with all the hype you make and political hype and propaganda you make out of it, at the end of the day, you find out that before it arrives the account of the civil servant, it has been overtaken by inflationary trend.
Yeah.
Because the people in the market also want to get a bite of it.
Of the minimum
of an economy that has not recovered from the removal of subsidy, the transport, the hardship and the high cost of living. So he came up with this. Yeah. And for all you care, the people in the market are already gearing up that there's going to be a minimum wage review.
So he has unnecessarily stirred the water.
Stirred the water. And for goodness sake, it might not come until towards the close to the election.
No, after the election.
So it's more of a propaganda.
They will announce it before the election. They will start implementing
it. So it's part of the, what do you call it, the renewed hope agenda that make people to feed on hope. And some of them, unfortunately, die in expectation.
Well, you know that while I was working, because I will always refer to my...
You are still working?
My personal experience. In the employ of government. The question is, if you are earning salary from government, there are about 5 people who are depending on you to test their money every end of the month. So when you say you have... They will tell you, but
it used to be so 5 people, but now with the growing rate of unemployment,
it's up to 10.
For each one person working, there are 10 hangers on. Exactly.
So please, whatever. Yes, my dear, you have something to say.
So I feel it's going to be a good one and a welcome one if the federal government will actually look into the review of the minimum wage for civil servants. So the Nigeria can also be a good place for civil servants to to live in. It's becoming terrible. Our income is not the income of a civil servant is not even enough to buy 100 liters of fuel.
How? 70,000 cannot even buy 60
60
liters.
liters.
So what are they living for?
Yeah.
What are they living for?
So the
Yes.
cost of living has been in the increase. The salary has been static.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be a 2-3 years window of review for it to be reviewed. So now that Bajabiamila has come up with it, we expect NLC will wade in, and we expect that action could be expedited. But that is just what a tip in the iceberg. It doesn't change anything.
Couldn't we go about it the other way? For instance, when we were growing up, there was what we used to call price control boards. And that time, if a product is manufactured, you are compelled to put the price when you do your advert. Let's take, for instance, toothpaste. As you advertise the toothpaste, you are going to put that is going for 75 kobo. It will be there so that everybody has an idea what is the price. Do you know that as we speak now, it's not about how much you pay the civil servant?
Yes.
What are they buying with it? Just
You,
like you were
if
saying.
you pay the average civil servant ₦1 million, and he cannot pay rent with it, not to talk of getting himself a decent shelter, then you have not achieved anything. There were people, I'm sure, that when you were a civil servant,
yes,
at some point you were being paid less than 4,000.
No,
before Abacha's time.
Before Abacha's time,
but it had value.
2,820
was your take home pay.
Yes.
But you were able to do a number of things with it.
No,
so it's
really.
more in the value.
Not really.
That was the height of my poverty. That was when I got married and all that. Everything was stressful.
I can imagine.
You married with less than 3,000 naira.
My salary was 2,820.
And you married.
The day my fiance saw my pay slip, she said, "What's this?" I said, "That's my salary." He said, "In a month?" I said, "Yes." So you mean when we get married, we'll be living on this? I said, "Yes." I have been living on it.
And you lived on it.
And we have managed. All right, we'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with newspaper analysis.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
You're welcome back. Sorry we start on this note. The paper reported that a story building collapsed in Lagos and people are dead. And it's like this occurs over and over.
Yeah, the frequency has become very disturbing.
Yes.
So, and in Lagos of all places where you expect that every measure will be put in place to erect a story building. So what is current?
The particular one reported is a mall, a shopping mall.
Okay.
That made it the worst. About a 3-story shopping mall. And it didn't just collapse. It showed sign that the structure had become defective.
It's failing.
But nothing was done. One of the occupants who runs the supermarket in there, said his boss had to leave. And before he left, he said, this structure is showing sign that it will collapse.
Oh, wow.
You understand? So the point is that we have.
So it's not only government that is complacent.
It's not only structures that are failing. We have systems that are failing because there are supposed to
marriages are
failing. There are supposed to be regulations. Town planning and structural regulation, who are supposed to mark buildings and say, no, this one is already failing or is about to fail. This one is wrongly placed, is in a drainage. But over time, we have seen them mark such buildings.
X.
But X means bring down.
Yes.
It's wrongly positioned.
Yeah.
But we have never seen such a building that is marked S that is eventually brought down.
Or even strengthened.
Yes, so the X over time has come to mean come and see the town planners, the town planning authorities. And when you see them and some royalties and envelopes exchange, you go ahead with your building. So the town planning authorities are failing the system. You know, the engineers too, you see situation where people are managing materials. What is supposed to use to do one decking, you are using it to do 2, 3. And at the end of the day, the longevity of that project
is called to question.
The credibility of that project is called to question. And some, they look at the fatality rate. As at late last night, about 9 had died, 20-something rescued.
Yeah.
As at this morning, of course, you know our response mechanism to search and rescue operation. They are still trying to
rescue,
to see some persons from the debris,
from the wreckage.
And it's not a good one. So I think it's a lesson we just need to learn. It's not only Lagos. It's just that of course the concentration of building in Lagos.
Yes,
and
there are
before a building
buildings
takes place, depending on the purpose you want to put it into, there should be a soil texture to know how will the mixture of the cement and sand be so that it will last.
What kind of structure can stand in this place?
You know, the engineering test for a building should be for it to last and not just a roof over our head that over time becomes a security risk that can take lives.
I want to add my voice to this. Before a building or a structure is being erected in a particular location, the town planning needs to be involved, know that, okay, this place is the right place for
the approval.
Yes, the approval.
Yes.
They need to give their approval that this place is the right place or is not the right
for
place.
This kind
for
of
this
structure,
kind of structure.
For this kind of purpose.
For this kind of purpose. And also test the soil to know the amount or depth of foundation you should have, and every other thing coming to the foundation concrete and so on.
These days they recover land reclamation from swampy areas. You do not expect that the concrete mixture will be the same as in a formidable firm ground.
Do you even know the irony? The irony is that all these things she's talking about, they are on paper.
They are.
Before you get to build anything, there are procedures to follow.
Exactly.
There are agencies and, of course, professionals that will come and ratify what you're using.
But we are good at cutting corners.
The strength of material.
We cut corners, and at the end of the day, we end up cutting down lives.
Even if you want to cut corners, have standard materials.
Well, that would be
cutting corners is not good.
Materials.
You build what will last. You build for legacy.
Exactly. When I mean cutting corners, tipping the planning officials and all that. Yes, you can tip them to allow you have your structure or your building in that particular location. I don't understand
what you mean by tipping. And I do not endorse that.
That's the cutting corners. But yes.
That precludes the actual inspection and ensuring that this is what we should use for this place.
Exactly.
Standard should not be compromised.
It should not be.
If they visit you at your site and for reasons of public relations, you have something to relate with them, that is understandable. But by every means, let standard not be compromised because of life. That's why we are. And sometimes we had a situation in Asaba where a building actually collapsed. Possibly a church building somewhere by Upper Road.
Okay.
And the Delta State government set up a committee, headed by one Dr. Anazia, and they had a public sitting and came up with a white paper. But often you find out that it ends at that. There is no implementation of the recommendation of the white paper. White paper ends up white.
Let's educate the public. Now that it has happened like this, and there are fatalities, how do the families of the deceased lay claim to what we call compensation or whatever you call it? Who is to blame in this matter? Is it the owner of the building? Is it the engineer that built the building? Or is it current, the council that is...
Everybody is to be blamed, but the owner of the building is culpable.
Okay.
Yes, because he exposed people to avoidable danger.
Yeah.
Look at this kind of rickety structures.
Yeah.
You know, we know Lagos State
And
government
these are old buildings.
These are old
buildings.
buildings.
Very old
Yeah.
buildings.
And they keep some of them, go to places like Jakonde Estate in Lagos and some of those old estates. An estate built by Jakonde at some point. Look at the kind of material. Just look at this and see, are those iron? Those are not rod.
And look at the
those
level
are not
of
rod.
rods.
Look at the quality of the rod there.
Yeah.
Is that rod?
Very tiny.
That is like netting.
Yes.
How can you use this to build and expect that it will last?
It's
And
very
thank
big.
God this one collapsed at the point where it was still under construction. If it had been in use and people are in there, then you are exposing people to avoidable danger. Just look at who approved this standard.
This is terrible.
Who was the builder?
Who was the builder? Who supervised?
Because the problem is most times people achieve a structure from start to finish with masons. No builder, no engineer to check the strength of materials.
Exactly.
We
should build to last.
We have to have a change of mind on this issue because
Exactly.
lives are involved.
Exactly.
All right, let's come down to Delta State, our own state. Of course, Oboriwori just directed that electricity should be restored to parts of Isoko. Directing, I would have liked to hear news that it has been restored. Directing, is that, how do you see that?
Well, the directive of a governor of a state carries some power. Follow-up report should let the public know that it has been restored because energy,
the
power
effort to restore is ongoing.
The economy is built around energy. And when power is absent, then of course you see that people keep looking for where to go to, in search of power. And for you to ask people to get meaningfully engaged, hairdressing, barbing salon, we had a government in this state that was training people, empowering people with startup packs and all that. But a number of them got frustrated because the generator they were given for starter pack and all that couldn't sustain the operation.
They couldn't fuel it.
And at some point, some of them felt that it's better you sell off the starter pack and be alive first. And maybe attend to your stomach first, So that really is it. Power is critical.
It's everything.
Just the same way as
everything.
road network, improved road network opens up communities. But let's pay attention to that and see how we could make our economy workable, productive economy.
And I think this is a welcoming development because the Isoko Nation has really been in stark darkness for.
You can rub that in. Yes, we can understand.
Yes, you have to listen. I can remember for how long that we've actually not seen. There has not been power for the Isoko communities for quite a number of years now, and it's terrible. It's a terrible situation. But those people have actually been patient because it's actually frustrating businesses and so on and so forth. So without power, I don't think economy is going to strive in any locality or community. So it's a welcome development, and we also seek that the government, put everything in place to see a follow-up to achieve a positive result in these aspects.
Yes, actually, the governor has opened a window of hope on the issue of electricity. In fact, he made us believe that is his target now, to see how we can light up parts of the state.
Light up Delta.
Light up Delta. Because not only Isoko, even the Ndokwa areas, they've also had light
by issue has been a controversial
just to step down. The light is there to step it down has been an issue.
Delta needs to be
state government, federal government prevaricating, whose responsibility, who should do. And this has not helped us. If it is for our people and we have the means, let us do it. All right, we go over to the Blue, Warri Summit, which actually dealt with the blue economy. At the instance of Oluofori, it was hosted. So can we unbundle it?
Yes, there's something that makes that very significant.
Yes.
Makes it significant. I still have this feeling that there is hope for this nation.
Okay.
It could come from any angle.
I didn't give up.
It could come from any angle. I spoke to some persons in Asaba who told me they had free ride in a vehicle that the Asaba of Asaba, the Professor Monarch King, put on the road. That is electric battery driven, and was carrying people free and all that. So I said, coming from along Asaba, Nebisi, and some routes, I said, oh, coming from a monarch, that when you see people who were already exposed in life and they find themselves as traditional rulers, they are not after selling of land.
They make things happen.
They make things happen.
Yeah.
They have their way of communicating even to government.
Yeah.
I'm doing this, I'm showing example. The government can even copy from me. It's on that note that a monarch that I admire so much, the Olu of Warri, I think one of the soft sales at some point asked him, Olu, you are so fine looking, and you are married to one wife. And he answered them very, very interestingly that he doesn't have the grace for polygamy. And I wondered whether there is a particular grace that you needed for polygamy.
But marrying one wife actually is more expensive than marrying two. Those who marry two, they are just running away from responsibility, because when you pitch two women, you pitch them against themselves and then you are free. But when it's one-on-one with your wife, it's more expensive.
That's another theory. Maybe for another day.
But that's
back to blue economy.
But that's the truth.
The Olu of Warri, on his instance, hosted this economy. Of course, it is said that, and many people don't realize this, the wealth of the world is in the sea.
Okay.
The wealth of the world is in the sea. And that is the area of advantage. Some people will call it core competence, the area of economic advantage of the Warri area. And we all do remember the glory days of Warri. With the Delta. Warri was some form of a small little London. If you don't go to London, you go to Warri. And you go to the nightclubs in the evening, you see the expatriates. You have a feel of London in Warri. But that hasn't been the case. Now we have a monarch there, the Olu of Warri, who is so sober-minded, development-focused, and is thinking just beyond himself, beyond the Shekiri nation, but thinking of how can we make the best of our environment. And of course, you see the ports, the sea, and of course, all that is linked to it. And how can we develop that economy and see how we could make that leverage on that for even a better, a more functional, more productive Delta economy. So I think that's the summit that was reported in a number of platforms, news platforms, about the blue economy and how we could leverage
the wealth from the waters.
The wealth from the waters, that is it.
Okay, now let's look at this. It's not only about Warri, because if you look at the whole of Delta South, we had advantage of ports in Warri, Sapele,
cocoa,
and the cocoa.
Yes.
And for years now, they've been moribund, no activity going on. We want to hope that the summit can, be a point, a leverage for us to revamp those ports and reenact activities.
Yes, the government of Delta State needs to partner very actively with the federal government in order to reactivate those ports and make the Delta economy work better. The federal government will benefit from it. Delta will benefit from it. There's something that one of the politicians, I think it was the Cape Mado, we know where he is now, who said that we should see how to de-emphasize this feeding bottle kind of economy. And some of us asked him, what's feeding bottle kind of economy? He said when state governors gather in Abuja and for sharing FAC, everybody comes capping, and that's feeding bottle.
It has remained so.
But we need to go beyond the feeding bottle kind of economy to see how, look around, what can we do? The way Awolowo looked around, developed cocoa, and from there was no oil there. And from there was able to, the first television station in the Southwest, then in fact in Nigeria. Then came up the Cocoa House, the Odua Group, and all that. And Okpara did something in the Southeast, and we heard of the Granite Pyramid in the North. You know, we should be able to look at area because Nigeria is richly blessed.
Nigeria is really blessed. Blessed with natural resources.
For regionalization. That's what they are campaigning for. Because if you check,
even the evolution of power,
even this sport,
decentralization,
it's a one-line charge.
Exactly.
They are one-line vote. They are all under the control of the federal government.
Shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
We can work on our ports, generate income, pay tax to the federal government.
To the federal government. Royalties to the federal government. That's the way it should be.
All right. Thank you, Baka, for coming on the show.
Once again, thank God it's Friday.
I don't understand you. I don't understand.
I don't think I have plans.
He has plans for the weekend.
If it were coming from success, I would have said, okay.
Yeah, she said something about it. So
she has worked very hard this week. Maybe there's the need to go and unwind somewhere. But
it's not out of place.
Please take us along.
All right. That does it on paper review for this morning. We go on break, and when we come back, it'll be sports update. Keep watching.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Dott Entertainment, your weekly dose of pure fun, airing every Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Only on Dott TV.
We impose extra burden on the masses. I feel your pain.
Only humility will lead us to unity. And unity will lead us to peace.
Go to the market and sell your products.
From Harrison. That is a massive world record. Martinelli goes, boys, out of his goal. Martinelli! This will be 3 for Arsenal.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome back, and it's time for sports. I am beaming from ear to ear again, a true African, as it happened yesterday. But it's not going to come from my mouth. Anthony Uche is here for sports update. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you, Anthony.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Well, like you said, as a Pan-Africanist that you are, you very, very happy. Yet another African team has made it to the round of 32. And we start, of course, straight off with Ivory Coast. No other nation but Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast played yesterday against debutants Curacao. As you can see on your image, very, very happy people. Nicolas Pepe scored the 2 goals that ultimately clinched the round of 32 berth for them. And for a Curacao team that nobody can deny, they've given a lot of people joy at this World Cup. But unfortunately, this is what happens. Lack of experience, lack of quality, and all of that. Eventually, they've lost out. And we talk about this Ivorian team. I'd like to get even a bit deeper in them. You remember the early 2000s and the late 2010s and all that.
Very well.
DJ Drogba, Emmanuel Eboué, Yaya Toure, Kolo Toure, Barry in goal. So many, Gervinho, so many players in that squad.
Yeah.
They never actually made it past the first round of the World Cup.
It's not about stars. It's about the team.
Yes, but they had a very good team then. Because I remember they even won the Africa Cup of Nations. Between that period where they had Kolo Toure, Yaya Toure as well in that squad. So, but for this squad,
even Salomon Kalou.
Yes, Salomon Kalou. I mean, so many players, but I think
good players.
Yes, this might come as an unpopular opinion, but I think a lot of the players in this squad actually makes them a bit more of a better generation than DJ Drogba's generation. Yes, I understand it. I mean, Chelsea fans will understand DJ Drogba, the greatness in the man. Yaya Toure, one of the best ever players in the Premier League history.
Yeah.
And of course, multiple African Player of the Year award winner. But you look at this squad, need I remind you that, the last 2 editions of the AFCON, they won. Defeating Nigeria in the final, as the host nation, if you remember in 2023.
Yes, even a very dramatic phase.
Yes.
We were almost out of the competition.
Yes, they had to sack the manager, Jean-Louis Gasset, after a very disappointing group round performance. They sacked the manager, brought in the guy now who currently is leading them to this World Cup second round, Emirates Faye. And Emirates Faye took over a team that was demoralized, down and out, basically. But somehow they recovered and went on to win the tournament. And since then, it's been an upward curve for the Elephants, as they're popularly called. So, congratulations to them. Fantastic achievement, making it to the second round for the first time at the World Cup. And this is not one of those cases where you say, okay, they are making it because there's a provision for third place teams. They actually finished second, joined 6 points with Germany in the same group.
Yeah.
So they went there on merit. If you go back to the old format,
that's right.
Then they qualified on merit because they finished second in their group. And then of course, the other team that played also in the group, Ecuador.
Yeah.
First ever
over
Germany. And you see the scenes at the end of the game. Absolute joy.
Absolute.
Just look at what it means to the Ecuadorians, And they fell behind. I mean, the game started off in the worst possible way for the Ecuadorians.
Because
2 minutes, they were down by 2 minutes, equalized in the 9th minute. And then in the second half, as you could see on that image, eventually found a way to win the game. And Ecuador, quite underwhelming for me, because if you watch the previews I made of the World Cup, I tipped them as one of the dark horses of the tournament. I expected them to perform a lot better. Why? Because in the qualification period, they played 18 games, they conceded only 5 goals. They had the one thing about Ecuador is they have a very strong defense, and if you look across the team,
and they are hard fighters.
Yes, William Pacho is in that back line. William Pacho has won the last 2 Champions League editions with Paris Saint-Germain, one of the best defenders in the world. You look at Piero Hincapié playing for Arsenal, did really well. In fact, Arsenal confirmed his loan to become a permanent signing yesterday. So, and then you look in the midfield, Moises Caicedo is in that team. Up front, Nielsen and Guyu is in that team. Gonzalo Plata, who scored the winning goal yesterday. So I expected them to be a bit better than they performed, dropping points and playing very wastefully. Let me just put it lightly. They were wasteful against Curacao because, yes, Iroy was very good in that game, making about 14 saves, but the quality of the chances that they failed to convert in that game was a bit disappointing. But ultimately for them yesterday,
at least they made history. They made history yesterday.
To qualify, albeit as a top place team with 4 points, that was enough for them to qualify eventually. For Germany, they've been receiving a lot of backlash, after the performance. And you know what the standards are with the diamond shaft of the German national team. Very, very high standards. And something really troubling. And if you saw the first goal, Manuel Neuer was partly culpable for the way they considered that goal. But one thing about this German national team, they've not actually kept a clean sheet at the World Cup since they won it in 2014.
Yes.
That's a long time ago. And, basically that's 12 years ago now. 6 years ago, 16 years ago
16.
now. So that's a long time for them to have not kept a clean sheet. And one thing is certain, they will not face the embarrassment they faced over the last 2 editions because they got knocked out at the group stages in 2022. They got knocked out at the group stages in 2018. So at least some sort of pride on that performance. But like I said, they were really, really strong as well yesterday. That was what perhaps was most concerning for the Germans because it was only 2 changes that they made to the squad. One of them was because of an injury to Nico Schlotterbeck. So Antonio Rudiger, the Real Madrid centre-back, came in. So basically, you could say Germany went with the team that they would play. Yes, with their best possible squad, and they still lost to Ecuador. So that was perhaps where all of the backlash was coming from. But the coach, Julian Nagelsmann, said everybody should relax and calm down.
Yes, I can agree with you. You know, if you watch the World Cup, the German trajectory has always been nondescript. At the time, they were described as Rummenigge and 10 robots, you know, on the pitch because of their pattern of play. They don't have,
they just go in there and do whatever they have. Let me
tell you, as I sit here, I don't rule out Germany from winning the World Cup. Some people would find it laughable.
It's not necessarily laughable, but I don't think they are strong favorites to win the tournament.
Okay, they are not strong favorites, but I'm predicting for you now.
Okay,
on this platform.
you're having faith in them.
Yeah, keep the tab. Because they have the way of playing their game.
Yes.
Their game is, you can't describe it. They just keep turning out different ways in different games. Now, for you were making mention of the time of Didier Drogba. I want to let you know that what happens in the nation also affects their team when they go out.
I remember the
Do you know that was the time there was serious civil war in Cote d'Ivoire? Right now, everywhere is peaceful in Cote d'Ivoire. The teammates, their friends, they embrace themselves, they play together. And that's what it is. To win in a football game, you have to be a team. And we are supporting Cote d'Ivoire all the way.
Oh, so from one African country doing well, we'll go to a rather embarrassing African country, Tunisia. But before Tunisia, let's talk about the other game in that group between Japan and Sweden.
Yes.
Fantastic. I mean, Japan have been perhaps the most entertaining team so far at the World Cup. They've scored and conceded in all their 3 group games. Remember, they started off with a 2-2 draw against the Netherlands. Then they defeated Sweden. But they defeated Tunisia by 4-0. And then yesterday they played out a 1-1 draw with Sweden. But the 2 of them qualified, no damage is done. Or just the problem was now the placement on the table. Japan qualified as a 2nd place team, then Sweden qualified as a 3rd place team. But this game, the first goal scored, as you can see on the screen, Daize Maeda, the Celtic forward, scored the opening goal before Anthony Elanga equalized and leveled the scoring. For Sweden. And the 2 teams, basically, like I said, the 2 teams qualified. The only problem with this game was just who was going to finish higher than the other. And then, of course, the other game is Group F. The Netherlands defeated, quite brushed aside Tunisia by 3-1. At least positively, Tunisia managed to score this time around.
They scored a goal for themselves.
Yes, they scored a goal for themselves. But I mean, they considered the first 2 goals inside 7 minutes. So they were under threat of being whitewashed again, as they were, against Sweden by 5-1. But somehow, Hervé Renard managed to hold the team together, and then they built the confidence from there, scored to put the game back to 2-1. But ultimately, the Dutch national team eventually strode to a victory by 3-1, and they qualified as they finished first on their table, which means they will also meet yet another African team in the round of 32 in the people of Morocco. This perhaps is, it's quite, for them, they might be disappointed.
We are rooting for Morocco.
Yes, of course, they will be disappointed because usually when you top your group, you expect to face a weaker opponent. At this time around, in Morocco's group, they finished second. Yes, they finished second, and they are running into a very, very strong.
They are really strong. Yes,
and they are running into a very strong Morocco team. So perhaps a bit of disappointment for Netherlands, but if you are to win the World Cup, you have to beat a lot of big teams.
You have to face the big teams.
Yes, exactly. If you want to be one of the big teams, you face all of the big teams on your way. So for the Netherlands, that is their next opponent. And then, of course, to the last few games of yesterday's matches between, first of all, the United States of America and Turkey, and then as well Australia versus Paraguay. Australia versus Paraguay was just like the game, as you can see on the screen there, the game between Japan and Sweden. It was, I wouldn't want to call it a dead rubber, but then it was just about placement on the table because the 2 of them played out a very boring 0-0 draw. I mean, I even regret staying up to see that game. But they played out a goalless draw, which means the both of them qualify with 4 points going into the next round. But the problem now is that Australia finished higher, which means 2nd place. Paraguay still qualified, but just as a 3rd place team. So, and that will matter as you go, further down the line into the knockout stages, because then you meet people when you qualify as a 3rd place team, you're likely to meet somebody who finished first in their team. Yeah, so you're going up you're up against the odds. But in the other game as well, Turkey finally won a game at the World Cup, but
beat USA.
Yes, but it came.
Do you consider that an upset?
I don't really.
Okay.
even perhaps, if anything, I've been underwhelmed by the Turkish performance at the World Cup.
Okay.
That group, if you go into the World Cup in a group, before a ball was kicked, let's be honest now, USA in the group, Paraguay in the group, Australia in the group, and Turkey in the group.
Yeah.
Turkey finished last. Turkey got knocked out in the last round.
Yes.
So the win was just some sort of confidence or pride. They played for national pride, really, to defeat the United States because they already know going into that game yesterday they were going to get knocked out.
Yeah.
They have 3 points, but unfortunately it was not enough.
Too little, too late.
Yes, too little, too late yesterday for them to get that. So I was a bit disappointed. I mean, going into that tournament, I thought, okay, the United States of America, max will qualify as the second place team.
Yes.
I expected Turkey to qualify top of that group, but they disappointed me greatly, and disappointed not the least the millions of Turkish people all over the world. But like I said, that win yesterday, some sort of pride, salvage, and they'll go.
But I think they actually had a good play, but just that,
Yes, I mean, yes. When you say that, that's a very good point because after their second game, when their elimination was confirmed, they had played 62 shots and not scored any goal from 62 shots. So and they dominated most of the game. They averaged about 70% possession in those 2 games as well. So she makes a very good point. Yeah, she makes a very good point when you say they've had a good play, but just couldn't find ways to score goals. And if you don't score goals, you don't win games. Unfortunately for Turkey, that's the end of the road for them. Then of course, there are a lot of games coming up.
The matches
tonight.
for today.
Yeah, but I'll just highlight, because of the want of time, I'll highlight the biggest one, no doubt, Norway versus France national team.
Yeah.
Game a lot of people are touting to be Kylian Mbappe versus Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
And that is rightly so.
That is rightly so.
4 goals behind Lionel Messi at the top scoring chart so far in the World Cup. And for France, it's quite unfortunate. The coach Didier Deschamps lost his mother 2 days ago to be precise. So he will not be on the bench for this game tonight. He's flown back to France to be with his family at such a very trying time. But he's expected to return for the round of 32 game. And then, of course, for Norway, first World Cup appearance in almost 30 years.
Yes.
They go there, they just steamroll everybody, including our own Senegal. They beat Senegal by 3-2. And then in their first game, they whitewashed Iraq by 4-1. Erling Haaland in absolutely fantastic form, but it's not just about Haaland. The attacking talent in that team, so many of them, Antonio Nusa, Martin Odegaard, Oscar Bob, so many other players in that team who can trouble you attacking wise. So knowing the strengths of these 2 teams are in attack, Mbappe, Olise, Dembele, Desiree Doué, I think this night perhaps we might see our highest scoring. Yes, we might see our highest scoring goal yet at this World Cup.
Well,
because of
I
the
hope
talent on both sides. It doesn't matter really. Well, it does for who will finish top and who will finish second, but the 2 of them are already in the round of 32. So that should take the shackles off a little bit so that we'll see a fantastic free flowing game of football. Okay, you think it will be a draw game?
It will be dull since they are all qualified.
No, but I think
nobody will want to stick so much.
When you have that much talent on the field, they can't help but create a lot of chances. So I think
have to.
something will give France as the stronger team in defense, but Norway slightly a stronger team in attack.
I've been wanting to say that France has a very strong team.
Yes. I mean, the 2 of them have.
So they would not just come into the pitch and want to make drama.
Yes, so
they will want to make impact.
Yeah, knowing what I know about these 2 teams. Yes. We might be coming back here tomorrow on the sports track and talking about a game that's finished perhaps 4-4 or 5-5.
All right, miss that.
We'll look forward to it. Thank you, Anthony, for doing what you do. Of course, that does it for sports updates. We'll go on a break. We'll be right back.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Dott Entertainment, your weekly dose of pure fun, airing every Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. only on Dott TV.
We impose extra burden on the masses. I feel your pain.
Only humility will lead us to unity, and unity will lead us to peace.
Go to the market and sell your products.
In the heart of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News are your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.
Dott Entertainment, your weekly dose of pure fun, airing every Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. only on Dott TV.
We impose extra burden on the masses. I feel your pain.
Only humility will lead us to unity. And unity will lead us to peace.
Go to the market and sell your products.
Amazon from Harrison. That is a massive world record. Martinelli goes, boys out of his goal. Martinelli. This will be 3 for Arsenal.
We impose extra burden on the masses. I feel your pain.
Only humility will lead us to unity. And unity will lead us to peace.
Go to the market and sell your products.
Dott Entertainment, your weekly dose of pure fun, airing every Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. only on Dott TV.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Welcome back. We continue with Morning Dew on Dott Television, and of course, over to education. On our contemporary talk, we're going to look at our schools, especially the secondary schools, the primary schools, the level of discipline, the conduct of students, and we have an expert in the studio, somebody we should know, talking about Dr. Mrs. Glory Ogugwa, who is a holder of a doctorate degree in educational psychology. And of course, she's a school proprietress. She's the head of school at the Dell International School. Madam, you're welcome to our studio.
Thank you. It's a pleasure having me here this morning.
All right.
Good to
And
have you,
your
Mom.
fellow woman here smiling at you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at our schools these days. In our time, we used to have people who were mature. And of course, the regular age for entering the secondary school was age 12, 11 plus, 12 plus. These days, we're having 9-year-olds in the secondary school. Is that disturbing for us because it violates the curriculum that was prepared by experts?
Well, you started with your time. I don't really know when your time is, but like you rightly said, so many negatives have happened.
Okay.
And it hurts us as school owners. Firstly, when you look at our time, let me go back. You do this to get into the school system.
Your fingers must touch your ear.
Touch your ears.
Yeah.
And you write properly, you will learn the basics. Here, I don't know whether it's the economy, I can't explain what's happening, but every mother wants their children not to finish a scheme of work in primary school.
Okay.
We talk of step up. Wherever that came from, I do not know. A child is in primary 1, you're doing step up basic 2 books, and the child is not growing
according to the curriculum.
According to the curriculum set by the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay.
And then when you talk, you get angry. Oh no, this child is not. No, it is the school's fault. Everything is blamed
on the school.
Yes, and the school begins to have issues of, oh, this population, because everybody seems to be selfish with population. If you want the child to be in primary 10,
let's go.
Let's go as far as you're paying your fees. Until that is checked first,
okay,
there will be a problem in the education system. That is one. And then when you think of, I don't know whether I'm to talk of discipline really.
No, we'll get there because that's our topic. Our topic is discipline in the schools. Because we are starting with, where I started from there is a child that is 9-year-old. What level of discipline has the child received at home now to come to that public space? Because I think it's foundational. Now, when children skip classes, I don't know what you call it, step up. Is it not disadvantageous?
Definitely, of course it is.
Okay.
It is very disadvantageous. However, how much can you do? Because I'm going to say it plainly here. The system is also very porous because there are no checks, no balance. A child at a particular age, the Ministry of Education should be able to come in there and check. How old are you? Bring your birth certificate, and then these things work that way.
Okay.
You know, but when these things are not happening, and even if you check, the same ministry would go and register these children for common entrance, making you look stupid as a school owner. Then they'll come back to your school for secondary school. A child of, you're even saying 8, 9 years, some of them are 8, and the child would have passed through Expo. Because the scheme, the curriculum has not been digested properly by that child.
Sometimes when you're talking about Expo now, they say miracle centers. But they are quick to accuse private schools, that private schools who don't hire qualified teachers, go to centers and ensure that expo is given to children from their school so that they will be seen to be doing well. What would you have to say to
The
that?
truth be told,
Yes.
most private schools are guilty.
Okay.
Because you see, the NYSC, some schools just take the NYSC people, pay them 10,000
Okay.
and warn them, please do not let anybody know you're a copper.
Mm.
That's a problem.
Mm.
The coppers have not been tutored properly. They just live in school. They don't have any experience on teaching.
Mm.
And I mean, look at it. You're to pay 110,000 or 20,000 to a regular teacher who has gone through education, and then you're paying 10,000 to which one would you choose in a system that is really not checking, not balancing? And then these people are out of jobs, and a copper gets the job teaching nonsense to the children.
Okay, Ma, so what strategies do you think can help, curb examination malpractices?
Well, first of all, it will start from the ministry.
Okay.
The Ministry of Education?
Yes, the Ministry of Education. Somebody must be brought in, which they normally do. But because of the hunger level, I'm trying to say my truth. The supervisors would even ask the children sometimes to contribute money, or they will not help them. The so-called supervisors are supposed to be supervising in capital letters. And then it is like
we call for
it has become a
money.
tradition.
Okay.
If that is curbed, when CCTV cameras are put in examination centers and somebody is conscientiously watching, then people will be in checks. And
So So do you think corporal punishment should still be in place for schools?
Corporal punishment, really, no. Is it with these Indomie children? No. You'll injure them all. In my time, I used to tell them I did class 7 in Cameroon, and it's helping me run my school there, International School, Asaba.
Okay.
When you are in assembly hall, the teacher gives you 30 mental sums. For each one you fail, it is a stroke of cane. In Cameroon, they call it mulongo. You can imagine you failing 29, you get 29 strokes. You don't go tell your father, I failed. Your father will first of all tell you, went to school to disgrace me. My father wasn't educated. But right now, you cannot even touch a child. You cannot correct a child. The parents will tell you, you see, do you know what it took me to have this child? I had to cut my stomach. I had to do this. In front of the child, you're being insulted even as a school owner because you're looking for this money. Sometimes you keep quiet. For Dell, I expel you. So you go to those schools where you take that nonsense. But I do not subscribe to corporal punishment.
Okay, now, what should ordinarily constitute discipline for the child in the school?
Yeah, it's very complicated. It depends on the kind of child. It depends on the kind of offense the child too has committed.
Okay.
For example, a child gets up and tells the teacher, use the F language on the teacher because the school would not touch you. You'll first of all give the child a suspension letter.
Okay.
And invite the parents. If they are, for me, I believe caning a child in the palm, 1 or 2 is not bad.
Okay.
Telling a child to kneel down, for me, you say some parents will tell you, see, my child has a knee issue and I wouldn't want my child to kneel. But it depends. Punishment has to balance what the child has done.
So how can teachers maintain, discipline in school?
Yeah, for me, I'm talking of myself, and I think that's generally.
As an educational psychologist, you should recommend.
Yes.
You're in the position to recommend.
Yeah. Every school should have a counselor, because these children need counseling. Some of them do not know what good, bad, and ugly are. And then there should be a disciplinary committee in every school, because a lot of parents, a lot of teachers have issues in their homes, you understand? And when they have those issues in their homes, they might bring it into the child, misplaced aggression could take place. So there should be a kind of disciplinary committee to find out what that child has done. And then in that disciplinary committee, there should be somebody who is there to discipline the children. That person should be employed for that purpose. When the children know, I'm going to Mr. Okeke or Mr. Allen or Mr. Eli, there should be some level of fear in that child, because you know he is going to discipline you. I do not think it is right for every teacher to begin to flog out of either jealousy or for one reason, anger, and then you begin to, because you are a teacher. It is very dangerous, and it brings fear in that child, because you have to bring the child close to you to learn.
Now, the first point, I think, of discipline in a child is waking up early and being in school on time as he should. Now, let's start from there. How do we see, because sometimes 9 o'clock, as you drive on the roads, school is supposed to resume 8 o'clock, and you see children strolling just into school at 9 o'clock, 9:30. That already is a discipline for me. So how do we address that? And what could be the cost?
Remember, you said in our time,
Yes.
there were no private schools. Remember? I'm 63 years, so I don't think there were private schools then.
No.
And then the public school, you run to school because you don't hold anybody accountable. In private schools, the parents will tell you, see, my vehicle got spoiled, I did not have gas, you know, I had to bring my child to school. They give all kinds of excuses. And then I didn't have money to bring the child to school, so the child had to trek. Please don't touch my child. And things like that. And then private schools.
Call you ahead of time.
Yes. And private schools would obey because of that money.
The peckle.
You know, and it is very dangerous. Then some will come and tell you, please flog my child. I don't know why he does not wake up very early to school. It becomes very confusing. Now,
Yes.
you must have a policy in your school. As the child is coming into your school, you must come at a particular time, or you go back home.
Yeah.
Because flogging children, even the ministry frowns at it. In our time, if you come late, they flog you 3 strokes on your back. That was in the 70s and late 60s. So when you remember that, nobody will tell you to wake up early.
Yeah.
Your parents will not wake you up. So it's a problem, really. It's a problem. It's very multifaceted. You know, it's a big problem for everyone.
No, but if you are to recommend, because you are talking about your experience as a private school owner,
Yeah.
what about public schools? What should be done to curb this issue of children coming late to school on a regular basis?
The public school children, I think, to a large extent, they cannot be disciplined because the teachers, most of them have compromised things. I have gone secretly, like an espionage thing, to check on the private school, to the public school teachers. Most of them are selling in the classes. They are selling, and you begin to wonder what they are teaching. And you want to lose your customer in the class. You want to flog the child. See, the system is rotten. I'm sorry to use that very hard word, if it is not corrected. And then you don't even know whether the principal or the headmistress in the public school would allow the children to are into cults.
Yeah?
Yes.
We'll come to that area.
Okay.
All right. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll continue with the conversation on discipline in the schools.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome back. We're on the conversation discipline in school or in education. Now, our resource person was just talking and mentioned the issues, the aspect of teachers. Can we continue on that? How much do teachers contribute to the level of indiscipline as it were in the schools?
Teachers. They contribute a lot.
Okay.
A teacher does not have a right to come to school dressing not like the teacher.
How does a teacher dress?
A teacher should dress properly. There are corporate ways for teachers to wear.
Okay.
The teacher should comply to the school's rule. A teacher must not come with a party cloth to school, with nails, you know, and the eyelashes and the rest.
They look distracting.
And then you expect the child to, you're supposed to practice what you preach, man.
Okay.
And if you don't do that, it becomes a problem for the children you're teaching, because you are the first role model they are looking at.
All right.
And then chewing gum in the class is something I remember. I had to sack a teacher because the children complain she's always doing tow in the class. And you ask yourself why a teacher would not be of good behavior. And then there are too many other things when it comes to.
You're talking about sale of items in the, in the classroom.
Classroom, yeah. Most private schools don't. Not because I run a private school. No proprietor would allow that in the school.
Okay.
But I've seen that in public schools countless times. And they buy that biscuit, and then the children are like sitting somewhere, and they are hurrying to buy from the teacher when the teacher should be teaching. That is the height of indiscipline.
Okay, so just recently, Sarah Kestama talked about or put a ban to social media use for children below the age of 16. Would you want to say, or do you think that the social media has its negative, impact on the students' behavior or attitude?
I'm not going to think about it. Social media for ages 1, for me, if I'm the president of Nigeria, I'll ban it from ages 1 to 20, not what the developed countries are doing, ages 1 to 16. And it has done more harm than good.
Yeah.
We know. Not to even talk of AI. AI has already damaged everything for our children. They're no more using their cognitive abilities at all. Everybody wants to go to AI to get it. Now, for Australia, I remember when I was in Canada, Canada was discussing this issue. A lot of other countries. I think Indonesia has joined. I think next year, UK is joining in spring 2027. Because they have seen that the children are not reading. There's so much addiction. They don't read their textbooks. These informations are in their textbook. Why do you use your textbook? You use your textbook to learn your English, your spellings, and then it is more detailed. And then you think. I give textbooks, a lot of textbooks in school. At the end of third term, you begin to wonder why those textbooks are still clean at the edges. Nobody has touched them. And then they tell their parents, and what the worst of it all, I would say it here, the children at the teenage age love to watch pornography on the internet in the name of we are trying to browse our subjects, which is a lie.
Are the subjects in the phone?
Of
the
course.
subjects in the phone?
Yes, they are. The whole thing is there. You can download anything, but then you have a textbook to use.
Yes.
Now they are not using those textbooks.
Which is structured according to what you are supposed to learn.
Very good. Now they are not using, they will tell you, most of their parents are very busy. Oh, mommy, let me use this because it's not, the topic they gave us is only on the phone, which is a lie. It's all written in the textbooks. But they do not want to use that because they have other things they want to watch. And the social media is such a nasty distraction.
Yeah.
Even for you, an adult. For
That's
me,
right.
but not for little children who are supposed to grow.
Yeah. Who are impressionable.
Yes, and it's unfair that I want to believe Nigeria would help and follow suit and help these children curtail their use of phones. I have said it in my school. If I catch you with a phone, you would not see the phone again.
Okay.
If I catch you, you will not see. They know now.
Now, another disturbing one is the issue of cultism. That has even crept to, as we learn, primary schools. What can be done? We ask you some of these questions because you are a psychologist. You are able to set an agenda on this matter. What can be done on the issue of cultism in schools? Fighting, countercut activities?
It's not hard. It's just that the system has refused to work on it.
Okay.
It is not difficult.
What can be done?
Arrest the children. Get them arrested. Flog them mercilessly. Okay. Arrest them publicly. Arrest them. You see, this petting, this...
some of them say the law does not permit to arrest anybody.
The law is the problem. We must make laws that suit our children.
Okay.
We are we are Africans.
All right.
We are not Europeans. You know, this soft parenting is affecting our children. Until we go back to the basics, we are not going to get it right.
And what are the basics?
The basics, flogging, I'm sorry, for such negatives. Who can take somebody's life? Who can drink blood? Deal with them mercilessly. So they begin to understand. There's nothing like petting in this case. This is not soft parenting. This is not petting, because you are grooming monsters. In the primary schools, in some states, I won't mention some states.
Yes.
Children have already started forming gangs, even the girls.
Yeah.
And nobody is talking because, the law prohibits children from, for how long are you going to train these monsters?
Okay, looking at, cultism and drug abuse, which is common with our teens, which is leading to which, and how do we address the issue of drug abuse among our teens in school?
The drug issue is not even a problem, because the one I just learned now is scent leaf. If you dry it, you put it in paper. This is very easy and it can make you high.
Whoa.
I never knew that scent leaf, you can dry scent leaf, and it is so dangerous.
Science is discovery.
And then you put it, and these little children are trying to practice. But I think first, every school must have a counselor. A counselor that is friendly. One. If a school does not have a counselor, these children think it is acceptable. Look at Asaba, for example, in ShopRite. In the evenings, you go around there by Friday evenings. Take a look. Sometimes I do it. But I always go with a macho man. So that in case he wants to beat me up, he will stand for me. Why do I go there? I go to counsel children. You see very young girls.
Okay, that open place.
Yes. I go there, I say, hello, darling, how are you? And you come over. You need to make them your friends. Sometimes they don't even know. Some are from very good homes, but with some very bad negative influence from girls. And then you need to counsel them. What are you doing here? You're so pretty. Why are you here? And they are puffing something. Some are even puffing the nonsense in front of you. They don't even know. So somebody needs to counsel them first. And you will see that when you counsel children, not from the home front, because most children don't even listen to their parents. They want to listen to someone outside. It will help the children.
So the place of parents, how do parents play? Do you think parents has a major role to play in the discipline?
Yes. It has to start from inception.
Okay.
And begin to talk to them. Begin to check what they do, check their bags, check. Don't just leave the children because you have money, you have built a duplex, you have put television for them, you have given them everything they need because you didn't get that. I don't want my children to suffer. And then you think the children are not smarter than you. Right in that room, there might be cigarettes. Right in that room, there might be fleet to block the cigarette smell. When they see you're sleeping, they do. And gradually this nicotine gets to the veins. And when you get addicted to it, there is nothing you can do. So nip it in the bud as early as you can. Parents, particularly mothers, must always check their children.
Why only mothers?
Particularly mothers, because mothers are the ones who are always so close to the children. The father is meant to go and look for money now.
No, even mothers are winning bread.
That is why the
mothers. They are much more involved.
I am begging the parents out there. They should give the wives some kind of time to stay more with the children. We cannot be looking for this money. I don't even know what we're doing with all this money we are looking for.
Are we
our
seeing
children.
It? Are we getting the money?
Even when
looking for it, do we see it?
Even when we are looking for it, the thing is, it's a problem for children. Somebody must be at home to check their excesses.
Talking about parents, especially mothers, I could remember while I was growing up, though my mother, she is a trader, but I don't know how she, noticed some things in my school bag. Probably when I'm fast asleep, she goes through my bag, she check it, and
that's right.
Top-notch mother.
So sometimes in the morning, she would just hold me by the hand. We are going to your school. What happened? We got there, discipline her, flog her. I'm like, was my
And
point.
that is why
Yes.
you are
That's
who
why
you are today.
So you were keeping things in your bag.
No,
Now you
and
let
that
out-
is why
you let out the secret.
you see, the thing is, it's not even a secret. That is what it should be.
Yeah.
In some traditions, a parent does not just, a community trains
Yeah,
your
the
child.
child is the responsibility.
But now sometimes when you talk, please, madam,
I beg.
it's not your business.
Mind your business.
That is my
Go and talk
child.
to your children.
And even if you tell them the right things, some would hold it against you. And
All
it
right.
hurts.
As time will permit us on this program, we just want you to give a word of advice to teachers, to parents, and to the children on the issue of discipline of school children.
I would start with parents. Please, dear parents, try and find out from the schools what your children are doing wrong. Do not always push all the blames on the teachers. Don't just listen to the sweet parts your children tell you. Weigh, and then please always check your children before they come to school with things that do not belong to them. It is wrong that they should bring someone else's cardigan, biros, books to the house. Please check your children before they come to school. And then for the teachers, please, dear teachers, watch your children in class. Make sure their homework is done. Make sure it is their writing. Nobody did it for them, because that's why they're in school to learn. You know, if people do it for them and they get 10 over 10, it is not teaching. Check, cross-check. And for me, I think teachers should do 40% in the class. Allow the children exercise. Tell them 60% should be for them. There should be an interaction. And then, please, for discipline's sake, teachers do not use negative language on the children. You are a fool, you are an idiot. It's not allowed. You're psychologically demoralizing that child. The child should be your friend so that maximal learning will take place. Who else am I supposed to talk about?
The students.
Now for the students. Most students don't even greet their teachers. Most students are incorrigible because some of the parents support them. Students, please, I'm pleading with you. We know it is a trying time for everyone. Please try as much as possible to obey rules. Do the right thing like the Bible said. Do the right things so that God will always bless you. Stay away from bad friends. Be studious. Read your books. Read your books. I didn't say read your internet. Read your books. Your textbooks are there.
Very important.
Read storybooks. Encourage yourselves to be better. And God, in His infinite mercy, will always bless you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We've been with a woman who should know, an educational psychologist, and of course, a school proprietress. She has seen it all, she knows it all, and she's advising on the issue of discipline of students in schools, that parents have a role to play, teachers have their roles to play. The students themselves have to know that they have to seek a future for themselves. It's another to want to thank Dr. Glory Ogugwa for coming on the program.
Thank you
Thanks
for having me.
As
Thank
time
you
goes
for
on,
coming,
we'll,
Ma.
we'll call you back again to continue from where you stopped.
Thank you.
All right, viewer, keep watching Morning Dew. We'll be back.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Amazon from Harrison. That is a massive world record. Martinelli goes, boys out of his goal. Martinelli. This will be 3 for Arsenal.
Dott Entertainment, your weekly dose of pure fun, airing every Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Only on Dott TV.
We impose extra burden on the masses. I feel your pain.
Only humility will lead us to unity. And unity will lead us to peace.
Go to the market and sell your products.
Of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News are your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome back. We continue on Morning Dew. And of course, we have a guest in the studio to talk about a trending issue, talking about agriculture. As a nation, we have talked about agriculture, done many things about agriculture, but we don't seem to be satisfied with what we have done. In the time of our dear President Obasanjo, even as a military head of state, he came up with OFN, Operation Feed the Nation. Later, it became Green Revolution. A lot was said, a lot was done, but all amounted to very little. In our discourse today, we want to see how agriculture can become a tool for economic transformation, as we are told. And we have somebody in the studio who should know. Of course, we have Professor PC Ike, P for Pius. And he is the dean, he is the dean of the Faculty of Agriculture, Dennis Osadebe University. We're here to judge with him and then share ideas on how to help both the nation and the public maximize agriculture as a source of economic empowerment. So you're welcome to our studio.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, it's a pleasure.
All right, let's start like this. You studied
agricultural economics.
Agric economics, as we call
Yes,
it.
up to my PhD level.
Yeah, I know. For this to be a prof, you must have been reading.
That's
Now, when we talk about agricultural economics, what are the components? What are we talking about?
We are just briefly talking about the use of economic principles to manage agricultural problems.
Okay.
Yes, because we are talking of production, we are talking of processing, preservation, and marketing.
Okay.
All those are intertwined economic problems that agricultural economics tend to solve in agriculture.
Now, is it only problem we have? Don't we have
not
profits?
Yeah, sure. Everything about sales,
profits,
profits, because the whole idea of agriculture now is no longer that idea of subsistence farming. We are talking of agriculture as a business. So in terms of agribusiness, we are talking of investment, production, and then marketing, and then profit that comes, that follows. So that's that.
So why is agriculture considered a key driver to economic growth?
Yeah, you see, basically, we look at certain dynamics in the whole concept of economy. We look at employment, we look at economic growth, the GDP, we look at even what sustainability of human race. If you look at all this, the enterprise or the area where we have the highest number of human beings working, particularly in the developing nations like ours, where we say that almost up to 70% or more of our population are involved in agriculture, aching their daily living. In that case now, they are is providing sustainability and also growing. We also know that from the agricultural raw materials we export, even we talk of processing now, the value chain is no longer producing to export raw materials. So all these things are intertwined and bring to the growth of the economy. So we say that apart from the oil, maybe which by revenue accrues, gives more revenue, but in terms of engagement, agriculture is the next highest contributor to GDP, gross domestic product in real time. So that is it.
All right. We often tout education as the reason why agricultural activities are dwindling, talking about rural-urban migration. Our young ones, they go to school, the moment they are secondary school or university, they have left the village and it's no longer attractive to engage in actual farming. How do you assess, for instance, the volume of agricultural production over the years as against what we have now, where we have fewer hands, especially elders are now in the village? Are we doing well?
No, actually, that is even a wrong notion, the concept that as education improves, agriculture should be dwindling.
All right.
It's not supposed to be so. It's supposed to be the growth of the educational sector should feed the agricultural sector by way of improving the production processes. It's no longer, we are talking of the subsistence agriculture where we leave agriculture to the poor in the village, to the elders. We are now talking of dynamic innovators who should go into agriculture. We are talking of climate smart agriculture. Use the necessary instruments, that can be used to go into production. We talk of mechanization. We are talking of, when you talk of leaving agriculture to the elderly, you are talking of a situation where 90% is producing for the people. But if we look at what pertains in developed nations, where 5% of the population is engaged in agriculture, but feed the entire nation.
Okay.
It has to do with innovation, mechanization. So when you look at agriculture from the concept of the nature, subsistence, tradition, that is where we are talking of involvement of the aging farmers and all this. But when you look at agriculture as an innovative enterprise, purely profit-driven, it's not just for the purpose of producing to sustainability, to eat, but investment, and that is where government comes in. Maybe we step up to that level.
Sure. I want to come from this angle now.
Yes.
People like you in the ivory tower, I'm sure you are involved in research.
Sure.
You are involved in innovations that can make agriculture produce more, more productive to us. And then not only assuring food security, but also make it part of our GDP, that we are able to feed ourselves and then send to outside country. How much are we exploiting the privileges, opportunity available from people like you in ivory tower?
Thank you.
How much are we doing that?
The people in the ivory tower, we have in short research and have been going on over and over. But we are now talking of evidence-based research, so that whatever you are researching, we have it on the ground of how it can help, to project the agricultural sector. But there is one endemic problem.
Okay.
Over years, we have even had a study on that. There is what is called the Maputo Declaration of 2003, where all the heads of government of the African countries, AU countries, agreed that on yearly basis, every government in Africa should budget set out 10% of its budget for agriculture. But over the period of study, since 1960 to date, Nigeria, on the average, has only had about less than 2% of its national budget for agriculture. If you call agriculture an enterprise, where you are going to invest with the aim of producing what you are going to export, to meet up the international standard, the world best practices of output. You don't just produce anything and export it. Yes. No. If it doesn't meet up to the international standard, it will not even leave your shores. So, government has to invest in agriculture. You look at it, every president, every governor, every local government chairman that comes will always say agriculture will be the mainstay of his or her administration. But how much? What of research? What involvement, what capacity has government built to researchers? I am not, while I do not undermine the maybe funding of other sectors, but agricultural sector is grossly underfunded. If we want to look at agriculture from the perspective of contribution to our GDP, apart from oil, because of that can easily be assessed, on the energy sources, we can make agriculture. There are countries that does not have oil. Thailand sends rice to us. Israelis, of course, most of the way they have developed is because they put in a lot into research in
even their land is not very arid.
Look at Malaysia. We hear that in the 60s they came, they collected the palm fruits and went over there. There is no type of technology that has not been developed in Malaysia to process oil palm.
All right, we'll continue with this conversation. We'll go on a short break. Viewer, stay with us.
Thank you very much.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
All right, welcome back. We have been on a very serious conversation, a sector of the economy that can turn things around for us as a nation. whether developing or developed nation, agriculture remains a factor because the first culture of the world, as God created it, man was agriculture. He said God planted a garden and put man there and said, dress it and keep it. That's agriculture. But we have deviated from it. And of course, we are with somebody we should know, telling us the way back to make agriculture. He has said it's underfunded. Now, where we are, we see that sometimes we are encouraged. They come up with special seedlings, improved seedlings, they call it. And there are also the ones we are hearing that they are not very healthy to us, the GMO type, I don't know. Now, how do you encourage the average Nigerian? Because one, we have arable lands. That's one thing God has blessed us with, the green vegetation. Most countries don't have it. How will you, as an expert, now that government is underfunding, how do you advise me now as a person to make money from agriculture?
Thank you very much. We are going back into what is called organic agriculture.
Okay.
This is different from the use of chemicals to produce food. Actually,
when you say organic, what do you mean?
Organic is the use of natural processes.
Okay.
The use of compost manure or just normal manure, animal dung, and not chemical like fertilizer.
Okay.
We are talking of
like the fowl drops.
Yes, fowl drops and all those poultry drops. So when we talk of improved agriculture, there are so many acts that makes it improved. There are traditional seeds that, of course, output over time is very low. But with genetic engineering, we produce seeds that is different from GMO, because the concept we are talking about
what's GMO all about?
Genetically modified organisms.
Okay.
And that is the one that we are against.
Okay.
That you want to produce does not GMO foods. There was a time, I think last year or last 2 years, I was in Abuja. We were in National Assembly to oppose the idea of use of GMO foods because the people develop so many type of ailments,
yes.
like cancer, and some of these things are attributed. In short, there's a dossier of the challenges or problems associated with GMO foods. In short, I talked about what happened to Indian workers, Indian farmers, because they accepted to use GMO. But that is a different ballgame. But back to what you talked about, how we can use agriculture on normal ground.
Yes.
Of course, we are talking of innovations and then using the best practices. Actually, if you'll find out that organic produced agricultural products now even cost more. If you go to shops, even abroad, and people label that this, if you are producing tomatoes using organic, this is organic produced. Yes. Unlike these other ones that are produced with chemicals. So if you invest in agriculture and try as much as possible to improve in its value chain, that is to say, for instance, you don't just produce cassava to bars and carry cassava to bars to the market. You try to do some add value. Add value. You process. You can process into so many type of foods. Flour. Gari is just the common type. Apple, different types of gari too, that gari is no longer one type. You can improve on different types of gari and packaging. You know, when you package a product, it becomes different. People are looking at it, but it's different from the other. So we believe that when you see agriculture as a business, the tendency and which can be done by anybody, whether people in the village, whether a civil servants, and mark you, it is no longer the size. Arable land is Though it's very, very important
Yeah.
for massive production. But in in-house units, we can have homesteads where even as civil servants, even as small-scale businessmen who like their own vegetable.
Yes.
There are people who vow they can never buy vegetable from the market. And you see where people are using bags and everything to even this small place we are in can do a lot of things. And these are all what we are talking about agriculture, seeing agriculture from a broad perspective, no longer to the restricted rural village elderly man going aching the land and then bringing maize, and all this.
So if I may want to come in, so not just be the elderly man in the village, also being an exposed person or gone through education.
Yes.
You can also venture into agriculture. So at this point, I want to know. So, will you want to say that agriculture can reduce unemployment in the country?
Sure, of course. Basically, we know that there are so many roles the agriculture plays. Of course, food production, we know. Earning us revenue, we know. Employment is a very major factor. I did say that the International Labour Organization, in a research they did, particularly about Nigeria, found out that the level of employment in Nigeria grew by about 35% between 2020 and 2022.
Yeah.
This growth does not, it precludes that
it's not from
people,
white collar jobs.
No. But people who have decided to go into this sector, to become that. You did not study agriculture in your first degree or second degree, does not buy you from being a farmer. Let's look at farming as a business. People come to invest. Those of us who speak about agriculture are just maybe technical supporters. I'm not an investor. I might not have the resources to invest in large-scale farming. But somebody has money. The way somebody can go into oil prospecting, they can come into agricultural prospecting. Yes.
Okay.
For instance, what is the cost of 1 barrel of crude oil? What is the cost of 1 barrel of palm oil?
Palm oil.
That is far greater.
Okay.
When we are talking of $100, we are talking of how many thousands of dollars? Are you getting me?
Yes.
For a barrel of palm oil. So if you can think, and there are so many other types of permanent crops, that people plant and over time, continue from generation to generation to expand on it and get resources.
All right.
So that is what
before we let you go, because time constraint,
Okay,
we want you to advise the average civil servant. Now, government is talking about minimum wage. And we know that each time this issue of minimum wage is announced, it's always overtaken by other economic factors. The person in the market is waiting that you have the minimum wage, even though they are still processing. How do you advise the civil servant, the self-employed person, to engage in agriculture, even in his own compound?
Thank you. That is what we call homestead farming. Homestead implies that you can have small areas. We should understand that there was one investor who said that actually land is not the major factor for farming. It's water. So that's why we also have hydroponic farming. There are so many concepts we can discuss over time as time goes on. But you find out that in a small area you have in your place, don't just allow it to be a waste. We can plant cucumber. We can plant cabbage. We can plant watermelon.
Those cucumber growing.
Of course, in the house. We can. So, one other thing, if you go to a large compound, there is German floor, there is interlocking. That's a waste of land, for Christ's sake. That's a waste of land.
So we should not be interlocking.
No,
again. We should farm lock.
I didn't say so. But just carve out that area where
you can do something.
You can do something. You can park your car and all this. These other areas become a very greenery area. That when you come to your house, you'll be so happy. You're looking at tomatoes.
At least for
looking at pumpkin leaf. You can look at
fresh pepper,
all those other things that you need.
Even yam. Some people are considering yam.
Yes, plant yam in bags. Consider the impact of those things in your pocket. Take home.
All right.
If you are getting all your vegetables from home, you are eating healthy.
Okay.
Like you. You are not eating junks. Then,
tomatoes.
Talk of pepper. How many do they sell for 500 naira, 1,000? You get it when you come home.
Yeah.
No, you are not competing with anybody.
All right.
And he has not taken any of your time. So civil servants, by what I'm just trying to summarize, that civil servants should make effort to get themselves involved in these agricultural activities. This is one area where you don't need to call on government, call on anybody to come and help you.
All right, thank you so much,
Thank
Professor P.C. Ike,
Thank you very much.
the Dean of the Faculty of Agriculture, Denis Osadebe University. He has been on a conversation on how that agriculture has been underutilized as a tool to better our lives, even as individuals and as a nation. He has advised everybody, whether you're a government official, whether you are all those places you have concretized in your compound, you can crack some of them open and do something for yourself. A little pepper here, a little pumpkin leaf there, a little tomatoes there, and of course, you are easing off stress from your pocket. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you for having you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go on break. When we
Yes.
come back, we'll continue with Morning Dew. Stay with
Thank
us.
you.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
The headlines in the papers, of course, we had a review of some headlines in the papers, like we talked about how that the governors, the onus is now on them on the issue of state police to work at it, the state assemblies work at it, and then let's come up with a structure that can drive security effectively. Also, we had a guest in the studio that was talking about school. What was your takeaway from it?
Yeah, because I feel that the major work is on the parents to actually have a good training on the children, impact them on knowledge and how to live in the society and how to behave. You know, touch their attitude, their character. Is there in the Bible? It says, train up a child the way it should grow, and when it grows up,
it will not
depart from it.
That's
so
right.
it's the parents' duty to put these children in the right frame of mind first before the teachers in the school.
Very accurate. What we take from the home is what we take to school. And of course, whatever mixes with what we take from home is what we become. Also, we had a conversation on the issue of agriculture. A lot has been said, little is being done. And we came here with an expert who has advised all of us, including me. Why I say including me, that I ran away from the village because of agriculture. Now I need to go back. I have a good land where, as he has advised, we should plant little things that can ease tension from our pocket. If we have tomatoes in the compound, we have, some of us even have fish farm, and everything goes well. That does it for Morning Dew for today. It's been nice working with you. Success.
Same here.
Your smile is so good.
Same here.
All right, viewer, keep watching our programs on Dott Television. We'll be back the other side of the week. Bye for now. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.